I got good news for you and I have bad news. The bad news, if you're not investing, you're not even on the road to wealth. The good news, the road has already been paved. This is video 2 of our 5 investment considerations. That's right, I'm not an advisor, I don't have a license, I'm just an entrepreneur who lost $1 million in his 20s and trying to keep you from making the same mistake. Thank God I got it all back in my 30s, and now I travel the country and I travel the world teaching personal and economic empowerment. Investing is not that difficult once you understand terminology and you understand perspective. We talked in video 1 about your miniature emergency fund. We talked in video 1 about your true emergency fund. What's the difference? Well, a miniature emergency is anything that $3,000 or less can handle. If you need a new refrigerator, you need a new carburetor, you need a new compressor. If $3,000 can handle the problem, it's not really an emergency, it's a miniature emergency. What makes everything a true emergency in most individuals' world is their lack of money to handle it. What I want to talk to you guys about today is step number 2, retirement accounts. Again, these are not the 5 best investments in the world. These are 5 investment considerations to get you off to a good start. Well, if you're not thinking about retirement, or also in the entrepreneur world, we call it your freedom date. If you don't even consider investing, then how in the world will you ever stop trading time for dollars? A retirement account of some type, if nothing else, will keep you disciplined so your future won't look like your present. See, the problem with most people is that their present looks like their past because they never invested. And if you're not proud of where you've been financially and you're not happy with where you are financially, guess what's going to happen in the future? You will not be where you want to be financially. That's where all individuals who don't focus on these considerations, their past, present, and future all looks the same. So what you want to do is understand that investing is really simple when it comes to retirement accounts. You have what's called a 401k. Not a bad plan at all for people that have a job, especially if your employer is going to match your contribution, and often it's done for free. You also have what's called a 403b, for example, nonprofits and different things like that will often allocate a 403b. And for individuals with a job or individuals like entrepreneurs have different forms of IRA. Brian, what's your point? My point is investing is not difficult. And retirement accounts are not difficult. The money game is not difficult. What you want to understand is that all the government tries to do is confuse you with a bunch of letters and numbers. 401k, 403b, right? IRA, SEP account, simple account, Roth account. These are different types of IRAs, right? But back to your letters and numbers, you have a Schedule C. You have a W-9 form, you have a W-4 form, you have a W-2 for a job, you have a 1099 for a business, you have an account 729, you have a Schedule A, you have a Schedule K. Brian, what are all of these letters and numbers? Simple. They're tax codes. All the government wants to do is keep you believing that money is difficult. They're just forms and tax codes. A big misconception is that when people have a 401k, that is their investment. The 401k is not your investment. The 401k is the tax code. What's inside the 401k is your actual investment. I want you guys to write this in your notes. You can't be a lazy investor. See, when you consider these things, you don't want to be the individual who says, well, my job is taking care of me. They match it. I'm lucky. I make a contribution every single pay period, so I don't have to do anything. No. What is the actual investment? What investments are actually inside this tax shelter known as the 401k? Remember, a quick hit is the fastest way to get knocked out. You don't want to be an individual who does not consider the following things and don't care about the investment because your job told you that we have a 401k and we'll take good care of you. No. Although you don't have to be an accredited or qualified investor or have years of experience, you need to know enough to be dangerous, which is why you want to make your IRA a consideration. So again, you want to know what's actually in the investment. Here's why. A good investment does 2 things. Number 1, it creates positive cash flow. See, every dollar that you invest that gives you a tax break that you don't have to give the government puts more money back in your pocket, and that's more money you can have in your household, which will bring more cash flow to you and your family, which ties into number 2. A good investment gives you a tax reduction. So if it creates positive cash flow and gives you a tax reduction, it is an investment that you at least need to consider, because more money comes to you and less money goes to the government. Why do you think a lot of people love real estate? Real estate can create a positive cash flow stream if you have a tenant giving you rent that's considerably higher than the mortgage. And real estate also allows you to write off things like depreciation. So if it has a positive cash flow stream and it gives you a tax deduction, that's the best of both worlds. Wealthy people call it phantom money. So if it does one or both of those things, it's at least an investment to what? Consider. Think about it this way. Anytime the government wants you to do something, they give you a tax break. If you're married, you get a tax deduction. If you have children, you get a tax deduction. If you own a home and I am renting and our mortgage and rent is the exact same, at least you, homeowner, get to write off the interest on the mortgage. That is a tax deduction. Business owners, we get extra tax deductions. So if the government is giving you tax deductions for opening certain investment accounts like an IRA, they must want you to have one. Just something to consider. Remember, text me keywords "I'll consider" to 678-632-3914 for more information on how to get these tax deductions, how to create positive cash flow, how to get a financial makeover, how to create what's called an income shifting approach to your family, and I'll hit you back personally. These are just things you should what? Consider, because if you don't do it, then someone else will. I can't wait to see you guys in videos 3, 4, and 5 as we continue this education, because video 5, believe it or not, has the highest rate of return, but it's seldom considered, it's seldom discussed, and it's seldom taught. Continue with the sequence and we'll see you in the next 3 videos.